Yes, just when you thought it was safe and we weren't going to get anything to acknowledge the 2-year anniversary of Logic Pro for iPad, Apple dropped version 2.2 with some very cool new features. We're talking a brand new stem splitter that you can see in action here. We're talking about MIDI Learn. Yes, MIDI Learn, a very cool new tool called Flashback Capture that you are going to want to check out. We've got some normalized volume options in here and a whole lot more under the hood. So in this week's special live edition here on Studio Live today of the podcast, we are going to be talking all things Logic Pro for iPad 2.2. So grab yourself your beverage of choice and settle in, because for the next hour, we're talking Logic Pro for iPad 2.2. Cheers. And if you have any questions, or if there's features that you really want me to check out, please go ahead and throw those here. If you're here live, let me know. If you're not here live, if you're catching this one on the replay, no problem at all. All you need to do is leave yourself a comment down below saying, Pete, I really want to hear more about MIDI Learn. I've got a blah controller and I need to add it. I'm really hoping that you can explain Flashback Capture to me in more detail, and I will do that. I'll do my very best with that. So let's just go through. This is going to be the quick overview, the 5 minutes if you just want the facts and move on with your life and you're comfortable to go and check it all out for yourself. And then we will dive deeper into things at a later stage. So let's start with the stem splitter. It's a new version of the stem splitter. I'm just going to delete out this split stem that I've been playing with here so I can show you how it works. We'll unmute this one, which I can remember how to do somewhere. It is, I might have to re-import it. There should be a way to just unmute this. This is starting really, really well. This is why you come here. There it is, edit, unmute. This is why you come here to these live shows so that you get to see John's messing things up. So what we can do is we can split out any track that we have. This is actually an instrumental track that I'll be playing with here today just to demonstrate things. So it doesn't actually have any vocals in it as such, but we've now got the ability to stem split out to 6 different tracks. And I showed it on another video, which I'll show you in just a sec. But you can come in here and you can hit the stem splitter and look at this. We've got vocals, drums, bass, guitar, piano, and other now. So you've got a heap more options here. If we hit apply, it'll go away and split those out. It gives you a timer now. It's not super accurate. Like most timers on computers, it does an okay job, but it's not super duper accurate. And it'll go ahead and split these out into 6 different tracks. And if we had vocals, that would be one of them. By the way, while it's doing that, if you want to find out everything you need to know, there is a link down below to this. This is my playlist of videos. So you can see there, we've got MIDI Learn. We've got my fun little ode to Logic Pro. We've got the overview video, which is 12 minutes, which will get you up and running. And then we've got the other 4 features here. Normalize gain, stem splitter, the one we're looking at right now. Recording redo, which is the flashback capture. And you've got the new search and select function there as well. So you can go and check all of those out. They're all down in the description below. That is now done. And as you can see there, we've now split these out. So if we take a look at this, you can see this track has no vocals, so there won't be any vocals. But how cool is this? We've got the separated out drums. We've got separated out bass, which sounds rad. Turn off those drums. You can hear the string noise, you can hear everything in that bass sound. We've got, finally, guitars, just our guitars separated out. How cool is that? And now we've got piano. This song has no piano, and we've even got our other instruments. So in this one, we've got some cool effects down here that it separates out from the rest of the tracks. How cool is that? So the stem splitter, it's fabulous. Look, let's give you a version here. We'll just jump out of this project and let's show you the one that we did before that was extra cool. So I actually downloaded this track here. Actually, that's the wrong one. Never mind. What magic? Never mind. We've lost it. We've lost the version that I had that was the stem split version. So just trust me on this one. Go check out the video. Go check out my complete video where I showed how to do this because yeah, you'll hear that the vocal splitting works beautifully, and even other instruments like your keys and like your organs and your pianos and even brass. So the version that I did before, yeah, you could hear the brass being separated out separately from the guitars. And it even got the electric piano with the piano and then the organ with the brass. So it's next level cool. If you've got old recordings or if you've ever wanted to remix a song, let's just say, or you want to create your own very high professional grade instrumentals to sing along to, this is your jam, is the stem splitter. The other features we've got MIDI Learn. So MIDI Learn is exactly what it sounds like. It allows you to actually learn functions from your MIDI keyboard. So if you've got yourself a MIDI keyboard and you've got knobs and you've got pads and you've got dials and you've got buttons, you can now actually map everything from your keyboard to Logic Pro. So we'll show you how that all works during the show. It's a very, very cool feature. You're going to want to check that one out. We can now do normalization of volumes. So, for instance, we got this guitar, and maybe this isn't looking like it's as loud as some of these other instruments. We've now got the ability to normalize our region gain, and you can do it either via the peak level here. So you can normalize up to -1 dB, or you can even normalize for loudness, which you can set the LUFS level, which could normalize things down. It may even take things down a little bit. So in this case, we can do the peak volume and apply there, and it's going to boost up that sound. Let's just come over to this view. It's going to boost up that sound. Let's undo that. The other thing you might do is, hey, maybe this bass is a little bit too harsh. We can come in here and normalize our region gain and do this time to loudness, to -23 LUFS, and hit the apply button, and it's going to bring it right down there like that. So it's cool. The other thing we can do is if you've got multi-tracks like this, you can do your loudness across all of the different tracks. So we can highlight them all and normalize region gain there. And instead of going all equally, we can do per track equally or regions individually. So if we do all equally, and actually we'll go to the peak and we go apply, it's just going to level them all out, and it can sometimes give you a more balanced performance. This was a little bit hot to begin with, and it should now sit nicely there in the pocket that we can play around with. So you got that feature too. If you've got bigger projects, there's a cool feature that you can play. So if I open up my song timbre song here, my song called Learn, I got a lot to learn. And this one's only got, what, about 20 tracks? So it's not too hard to navigate and find your way around. But here's the cool thing. If you're looking for a track, you can now hit the 3 dots in the middle here, go search and select. And if we just type in bass, you can see here that I've got 3 different bass tracks. I can choose which one I want, and I can go straight there. You can even search via the track number. So if we go search and select track, and we go, say, track number 15, it knows that it's this crash cymbal track, and it'll actually open up these nested tracks that we have here for drums. These are Jade Star's drums. It'll open those up and find that track. So if you've ever had those projects that are 30, 40, 50 tracks, and you're like, where's that one pad that I used in here? And you're scrolling down and you're trying to find it. Well, now you can do that. Very, very cool stuff. There is also the Flashback Capture. Now, here's the situation, folks. Have you ever been in this situation? You're trying to play in a part. So let's just we'll grab my keyboard over here, and we'll play in a part here. And let's hit record and grab our keys. Turn that one on. Of course, this was working perfectly in pre-show. And oh, okay. You can hear that coming through, can't you? It's let's close out the track and come back into it. Yeah, this is the joy of live, folks. This is why I do a lot more pre-recorded stuff these days. There's my track with my keys. We may have found a small bug here. All right, let's delete that one. Let's re-add it and let's see why this was causing problems. MIDI. We'll remove the Studio Grand. And we'll add in this vintage B3 organ. It's pressing. You can see, and the audio is just coming through like really intermittently. Oh, you heard it there. All right, let's close this project. I think we've got a problem with that project. We've done too much with it. Let's instead come back into this lucky ducky one here. Oh, it's still trying to send data through. Look at that. I think we found a problem here. See, I did this on purpose, right? Because I wanted to show you the power of closing it and reopening it. So close down your Logic Pro and open it back up again, and we'll try that again. Let's open a fresh new project that has nothing in it here. Always fun, isn't it? All right, we've got our piano. That's sounding better, right? I wonder if it's going to work back on our other project now. Let's come back over and take a look. Yes. So I deliberately set this up, you see, to show you that sometimes stuff just happens and you do need to just close and reopen your project. How fun. What fun. All right, let's, now that we have this back, let's see if it'll actually let me demo what I was just trying to do. All right, let's go. All right, that's a pretty... Oh no, we've got another problem, folks. Didn't hit record. I just had a great idea for an organ part and played it in on the Hammond, and I didn't hit What's that? I can use Flashback Capture. Why, yes, I can. So you'll notice that there's this additional button up here next to my record. If we tap on that one, check out what it's done. Yeah, I call this the new Pete Johns special feature, because the amount of times you've probably been watching me on this channel and seen this actually happen in real time, where I'll be laying down a killer guitar lick or I'll be singing in a vocal part and then it'll just not happen. Like I'll get to a point and I haven't hit record. Well, yeah, you got no problems now because you can use the Flashback Capture. So let's just show you it again. Instead of record, I'm just going to hit play. And once again, it's not there. The other way you can do this is to hold down. Actually, no, you can't. I think once you add this, you can't do that. If you don't have that there, you can hold down on the record button, but you can tap that one. And if you're wondering where you can add this in, up in the top here, customize control bar, there's Flashback Capture under your transport, and under other is your learn MIDI function. You'll also notice that there's this export here now. So if you didn't know, in the past, in the before time, the long ago, to export your track, you had to tap in the top left here and go export. Okay, it was only 2 taps, but now it's 1. So now you can actually add it here into your control bar, which makes it additionally handy because you can just go, give me my export button there, and now you can just export with 1 tap in the top right there. Yes, this is my new. I decided to celebrate this, I would actually buy myself a controller that has pads and has knobs, so I can actually properly demonstrate some of these things. Let's say good day to the folks who are here live, and then we will dive into these in more detail. That's your overview if you just want just the facts, ma'am. Yes, so hello to Thomas Christ, hello to Unshackled Spirit, g'day Phoenix falling. Hello to Mark Bro, Luke Carey. G'day to scrolling up here. Emilio, mute and unmute regions is available under either the edit menu. Yeah, we got there. It's just something I don't use very often, so thank you for your help there. And hello to Ron and Jenny Jolivet. Hello to Denise. Ron's ready to move to Logic finally. Yeah, look, let's just talk broadly in a moment. Song submission. Yeah, so Thomas has already helped you out with Your Music Live, the song submission form. And yeah, feel free to become a channel member, donate to the channel, grab some merch, be a cool person in any way. And you can hit the thumbs up button if you enjoy. Hello, GoBG Major, if you enjoy live streams, especially ones where nothing can possibly go wrong. Yeah. So is this like the point? So Logic Pro for iPad has been out for 2 years. Version 1 came out just this time in May of 2023. It's hard. Time's weird, man. It still feels like 2020 in some ways. So May of 2023, and then version 2.1 came out version 2 came out just before the first year anniversary, and we all thought, well played, Apple. And then we were coming up to the second year anniversary, and folks were starting to get their little notification saying you're about to have your Logic renewed, and we were all thinking, hey, Apple, where's the update? Why did we get nothing? You've set the precedent now. We got 2.1 in between, but we want an update. Where is our update? And we got it. So it landed, and I was lucky enough to get a pre-release version of it. And so you can find, again, if you're just joining us and you missed the start of the show, you can jump into the description or the pinned comment there, and you'll find this playlist, which includes all of the things, all of the functions that are part of Logic Pro for iPad 2.2, except doesn't include the new sound pack, because I haven't actually checked it out yet. I've just opened it today, and I thought we would take a look at it together here on the show. All right. Is it possible to MIDI map directly to Logic, or is it only by project? So yeah, you can do it globally with your MIDI assignments, or you can do it to a project. I haven't worked out all the details yet, to be honest. Create assignment, delete all project assignments, delete all assignments. So yeah, so you can have it. I think if you come in here, I'll just have to turn off. We'll have to stop learning so we can do this. It is. I've got the wrong one there. I think under. We're going to have to explore that. If someone already knows it, let me know. But I'm pretty sure there is a way to set it as either on the project or universally across everything. Because you're right, sometimes you'll want MIDI assignments in a particular project. I'm just going to delete all these out, and so that because some of these are from my other keyboard, and that's the only problem here. I've got 2 MIDI keyboards, and I had it set for both. So yeah, if someone wants to beat me to the manual and beat me to the punch, you can let me and Mark know where that is. I'm looking at you, Emilio. You've usually got the answers to things before I do that. Thank you, Thomas. Yeah, there is my Logic Pro playlist. In fact, let's dive into MIDI Learn now, and let's see if we can learn together in real time. I haven't actually yet. Logic Pro iPad 2.2 user guide. I haven't looked at the real user guide yet, because it wasn't available when I was doing this. I got a cut down version where I got little snippets that had all the new bits added in, but I haven't seen the full version here. So let's you and I jump on over to this user guide, and let's see how good it is. If we go MIDI Learn, it should, that's in the What's New section, fair. MIDI Learn, okay. Oh, that's the drum. So that's the drum machine designer using MIDI Learn. Where's the whole section on MIDI Learn? MIDI Learn. This is the problem. It's talking about it, but then it's not. It's not the actual section. 1,061 pages is the manual now. Let's go to the index. Let's see if we can find it up here. Oh, look at the size of this manual. It's just massive. All right. So if we go sounds in the browser, using play, surfaces, arrays. So there's Flashback Capture. Oh, that's right. They call it Learn MIDI. That's why I'm having troubles here, is because they don't call it MIDI Learn, because Apple are Apple. They call it Learn MIDI. Here we go. 400, page 433 for those playing along at home. So let's just embiggen this a little and get rid of that and go through this together, because this is Pete learning the proper way to do things on the fly after just playing around with it. So yes, we can add MIDI learn, and we can look for things that have a little dark blue outline. I'll show you a practical version of this in a sec. I'm just trying to see if there's something in here about doing it by project or doing it by your whole Logic Pro for iPad. So reassign, delete learn, delete an assignment, delete, edit an assignment. Probably here at Logic Pro Control, MIDI Control, view assignments details, pinned or focused. We'll show that in a sec. Edit the MIDI control settings, edit value behaviors. There is so much in here. I do need to do a deep dive into this. Behavior and relative order, edit the behavior, logic toggles. Yes, this is, you're watching Watch a Guy Read a Manual. Visual feedback for MIDI devices. All right, so it doesn't specifically lay it out there, but let's see if we can find out by just doing rather than reading, because manuals are fine, but sometimes it's more fun to just do. So let's show you this in a demo form here. So because we're playing around with this organ sound here, I'm just going to delete these out for now. By the way, the track I'm using for the demo here is by member of the community, Tremor Bear. It's his song called Summer is Coming. And I'm actually going to be recording some vocals onto this today-ish. I'm going to show you sort of what I've got so far and the idea I've got, just so that you can see these new Logic Pro features in action here today as well. And that's why I thought this track could use an organ, so I thought I would use this as a bit of a demo. So once again, let's first of all tap on the MIDI Learn button. And now we're going to start learning MIDI. And I've actually got a practical reason for this. So just to give you some overview, if you've got transport controls on your MIDI controller, if you've got volume faders on your MIDI controller, you can attach all of those so that you can control them here in Logic Pro. You can control anything that has this blue dotted outline around it, including things within plugins, which I think is cool. And I did a bit of a test run of this beforehand, and it worked great. So you might be aware that when you're playing the Hammond B3, vintage B3 here in Logic Pro, when you play it, it's not, it won't play right now because I've got it into MIDI Learn function. In fact, it's trying to learn what it should do with that note. So let's just stop that. So you'll know that you can actually change your rotor speed. You can actually have slow and fast with a break in between. So that's the different sounds between the slow and the fast rotor. So I wanted to find out, can I actually attach that to a knob? So can I use a knob here to change my rotor? So that's what we're going to actually do here. I'll make it this knob over here actually, so that you can see it on the video easier. So what we can do, start learning, and it really is idiot proof. And I say that as someone who sometimes can be a bit of an idiot with this stuff. All we need to do is actually just tap on the control, and it will go into that control. And then I just grab a knob over here and I twiddle it, and it knows what knob that is. Once we hit stop learning, hang on, I think it opened the wrong thing. Let's try that again. There you go. Now it's got that red thing. I actually went into the thing instead. Now that's better. So now we twiddle the knob. You sort of twiddle it left and right so that you can move it between the two. And then check that out. In the bottom left there, you'll see that moving. And look, Ma, no hands. I'm using the knob over here on my controller. And you can literally use anything to control anything. If I wanted to make a volume assignment, actually, let's not do that. Let's come out of there. If I wanted to control volume with another knob, so let's say I'm using this knob for my rotor control, you can see there. What if I wanted to just have a track volume knob? Well, let's make this top right knob track volume. All I need to do for that is, once again, tap on MIDI Learn, and this time move this volume up and down, and then grab this knob and move it all the way down and all the way up just to make sure that it's working. There you go. Knobs, knobs. The amount of times I said knobs, I'm waiting for someone to put comments about my use of twiddling your knobs. I think there's one line where I say, yeah, it's really satisfying. I get a great sense of satisfaction when I'm twiddling my knobs. So I've added that now for that one as volume. Let's hit stop learning. And now we can control both our rotor there and our volume knob. And you might be thinking, well, that's great, but why do you want just that volume? What if you want this to be actually any track that you select? We can change that. You can actually change the parameters by tapping on here. And there you go, you've got volume. If we tap that one, you can either have it pinned to track 10 or focus track. And actually, there you go. So this one says focus to track 10 available in this project, focus track available in all projects. So let's just see with the control change whether that says, oops, wrong one. Back to here. So our rotor speed, let's go into this one. So yeah, so that's all you need to do is pinned to track 10 for the rotor speed or on the focused track. So I guess if you wanted to have one knob that just permanently was attached to the rotor speed of your B3, regardless of what project you open and add it to, then you use that function. And if you want it to just be in this project for this track, you can do that, which is pretty cool because maybe one time you're doing an electronic track and you actually want all these knobs to control, say, your Alchemy synth settings, you can do that. Whereas if you've got another one where you want to use these as expression control for your brass instruments or your strings or your keys, you could actually do that, which is what I've done here. Should we put this to the test now? All right, let's jump out of there. We will make sure we've stopped learning. So now what we can do is anytime we need to adjust the volume of a track, so let's say we come to these drums, we can actually just twiddle our knob here and that will control that volume track without us having to touch a thing. And it also works out here in your mixer. You can now just twiddle that and you've got a volume. So finally, something like a control surface or something like those, those big knobs that are literally just one fader and transport controls, I can kind of see myself wanting one of those now. I used to think, well, they're no good because GarageBand and Logic and anything on iOS doesn't support it, but now it does, which is kind of rad. So let us come out here and let's attempt to play this organ part, and let's see. All right, so we're good to go. Let's just test that this will work. I'm just going to have to come over here a bit. Oh, that's volume. That's pretty cool. So yeah, you can... Eat your heart out, crowded house. It's bloody gold. All right. So let's just see if we can find a way to use this here. Yeah, limitless possibilities here for playing in instruments. And again, just being able to adjust things. Just grab your volume knob. Like, yeah, I don't know. I've always been a touchscreen guy, but this could sort of challenge that and make me want to use more actual, real, touchable surfaces. What do you think? What do you think of that one? MIDI learn, pretty rad, yeah. All right, let's go and play a little more with our flashback capture, shall we? I'm going to capture my voice. Yeah, nothing like singing on a live show. Everything else has gone wrong. Surely the singing won't have a problem. All right, let's play around with this vocal, and I do have some ideas here. I'm just going to bring up my little notebook over here, and we'll just mute out this instrument for a moment. Not solo, mute, and we'll create a new vocal track. So we'll hit plus here. We'll go into audio, and we will make it just a. What do we want here? We want like a grungy vocal. We'll go to voice. I'm not showing you this screen at all. Let's do that. We'll go. We've added a new track here. We'll add a new vocal. What do we want here? Probably just a compressed kind of vocal. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and we'll sing this in. I'll turn off this mic, and what I do when I'm writing lyrics for a song is I do the do da 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 method. So basically means if before I have all the lyrics, I just kind of sing in any old thing, and it's a way to just capture an idea before I've got a fully formed idea. So let's hit record and see what I got. And we'll pause there and we'll turn off my mic for a sec. It fills me with dread just looking at that screen and seeing that there is nothing there. There is no there is no recording. But I just have to trust in the fact that Logic Pro has got me covered, because let's hit this one. Hey! Phew. After the way things have been working thus far, I was a little bit worried about that. Yeah, so definitely Doors vibe. That's definitely the kind of vibe that I was going for with this song. I think it needs to be like a hot, sweaty, swampy kind of vibe. And I wanted to go with a fairly simple kind of "Summer's coming" like chorus. Summer's coming. Oh yeah, trust the process. I know. Trust the process, Thomas, not always the technology. So let's listen back and see how it captured this vocal here in Logic Pro. Oh, yeah, all right. Oh, yeah. Not bad. Let's put a oh, yeah, little bit more echo on there. All right. Desert sun, wet dripping like a leaking my consciousness. Don't think that I'm the only one. Lights it harder than it is in the sun. It's a long, hot summer and I got nothing on. Da 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 da. Na 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 na. Summer's coming. Summer's coming. Yeah, rad. Okay, that's not bad, is it? And the fact that I get to keep that vocal take, even though I didn't press record, is kind of rad. There's some good ideas. Yeah, maybe we need to do a songwriting video. If you'd be down for that, let me know. Maybe we do that tomorrow. I don't actually have a video planned for tomorrow, so maybe we just jump on here. Or maybe I do that as a that could be a members only stream. Ooh, after dark. John's After Dark, members only. We'll see how we go. So pretty cool. And obviously we can go ahead and change around and edit that vocal and explore some other options. Let's see. I wanted to try something here. This is completely off the cuff experimentation. You might have heard there. I'm recording with the speakers here, which means it's picking up a lot of the backing track. Let's just play this. Okay. Summer's coming. Summer's coming. Now that I say that, it's actually done a really good job rejecting it. I'm sure I heard it at the start though. That's very weird that it's automatically found a way to reject the noise. Let's just play this at the start. Oh yeah, all right. Oh. Okay, maybe I've got a noise gate on here, do I? Is that why it's not? No? Okay, my microphone just did an amazing job at rejecting. There you go. I thought there'd be more of this in here. Where I'm going with this, and you may be ahead of me, is I want to see if you have something that has that background noise, maybe we need to turn it up to 11 and try that again. Let's come in here and stem split this one. And we only really need to split out. Let's use a cappella. So let's split out the vocals because you can actually do this now with this new one. You can actually just say a cappella. This might be a nice little hack to get some background noise removal from your vocals. Yeah, and it is. Look, and I was singing over here, and these are good at rejecting the old AKG D5. All right, let's just play this and see if it's removed even more of that noise. All right. Oh yeah, oh yeah, all right. So you can still hear a little bit in there. In fact, let's undo that. Let's see if we do tell it to separate everything, what else it finds and if it puts everything into. Let's go stem splitter again. Yes, Magic Mic, it only picks up the sounds that I want it to. Let's just go back to all stems again here. Apply. Gonna take a little bit longer this time to separate those out. All right. Unsolo that one. Yeah, it's got virtually nothing anywhere else. So I would have expected it to maybe have something. We need to you know what, I'm gonna try this. I'm determined to see if this is a thing now. So let's just come further down here. I'm going to record in some more vocals just to experiment with this. Let's go. All right, I'm trying to force it to to pick up. There it is. Now it's got some more of the background noise. It's still not picking up much. I think I do have a magic mic. I think it's right. Oh man. Okay. No, you know what? It's a silly idea. But if you had really noisy, I'd love to know if you had a really noisy background noise in your vocal, rather than using any other sort of noise removal, because it's using basically the same technology as a noise removal plugin. Um, yeah, it's very, very cool. Definitely rejects rejects the noise well. All right, let's no, so this is through the D5, isn't it? Like that. This was through here. This is through the D5, not the pod mic, which is weird. But yeah, all right, we'll go with it. Not really what I was here to do today. So we've looked at MIDI Learn, we've looked at that one. The other cool thing that we could do here is you can see that this vocal might be a little bit light on. We can increase this, and look, you probably wouldn't want to get it up to -1 dB, but if we, like said, -6 dB there and hit done and apply, it's going down. It was already above -6. Okay. Well, there you go. At least you know now. But yeah, if you really did want to boost this vocal, you could actually boost it up to -1 or maybe -2, not 62, -2. Okay, apply. Yeah, so it just gives it a bit more gain. Magic Mike sounds like a good producer name, right? All right, before we move on to the next one, yeah, if you do have any questions, please go ahead and put a Q in front of it like Lou Carey's done. I've had Studio One for years. It overwhelms me. Is Logic more user-friendly than some other DAWs? Looks really accessible. Yeah, it is. So it definitely goes GarageBand, Logic Pro, everything else. So to give you my background, I started using Cakewalk Music Creator or Music Studio way back in the day. We're talking 10, 15 years ago. I found that okay because it was pretty simple, but it was more simple because it didn't have a lot of plugins or a lot of features or sends and receives and stuff. I then moved to Reaper, which was an absolute baptism of fire. Reaper is wonderful. It has so many great options, but you need to know exactly what you're doing. It's like a blank canvas, and you just create with the blank canvas. GarageBand is so simple. It holds your hand all the way. So GarageBand, it fires up and it just says, here, what do you want? A keyboard? Okay. And you tap on keyboard and then you just start playing when it functions. It's not functioning. It's 100% proving me wrong here. So thank you, GarageBand, for making me look foolish. GarageBand, it just works, except when it doesn't. Can we load up some drums maybe? Yeah, there we go. All right. So yeah, GarageBand just gives you really easy controls to be able to play what you want to play. You just tap what you're recording, and you can play it in. So yeah, and then it goes up to Logic Pro, which is like GarageBand. You can use it almost exactly like GarageBand, but you need to know a little bit more about what you're doing. It still does hold your hand by, putting the plugins and having lots of presets and things in there, but it's not quite as full. It's not quite as easy to use as GarageBand. And it has a lot of stuff under the hood. So if you want to, you can start playing around with sends and receives and full automation chains and everything else here in Logic Pro, but you don't have to. So yeah, I think, and look, I've heard good things about Studio One as well. So mate Mike over at Creative Source uses Studio One, and if it works for you, it's great. But yeah, if you're finding yourself overwhelmed, it can definitely be a good way to go. Went from Cakewalk, Pro Tools, GarageBand, Logic. There you go. They do. Yeah, good point. So Thomas has pointed this out. So Logic for Mac, you can buy outright, and I think is it $199? It's $299 here in Australia. Let's just go Logic Pro Mac price. I think it's still $199. Could be wrong. Buy. So you can try it for free. Yeah, $299 Australian. So I'm almost sure it is $199 for Logic Pro to buy it. But you can do a 90-day free trial, full featured free trial, which is good, and then you can see if it's for you. Same here on iOS. On iPad, you can try out Logic Pro for iPad for as little as $0 for 30 days, and then you get to decide what keeps binging. Do you ever have that thing where you've got something's giving you a notification somewhere and you don't know what it is? Is it this camera causing? No, that camera's still working. That's it. That's weird. I don't know what's binging there, so we'll go with that. You are Australian, well then you'll pay the Aussie tax of an extra $100 Australian, so it's $2.99 for us here on the Mac version, or on the iPad. It is $59 per year Australian. So weirdly, you don't pay that much more for the subscription in Australian dollars. So it's an extra 50% on the Logic Pro Mac price, $199 to $299, but your subscription goes from 49 to 59. So you only pay an extra 20%. Okay, still okay, yeah, it's about the same. I was like, it's not as much of a difference between the mobile version, but you do have to, of course, pay for a yearly subscription, which is yeah, or $5 a month. And that's another good thing to do. If you do your month and you're still not sure, do another month. So, because you can just pay $5 or I think 7 or 8 here in Australia to do another month, and then you can do it monthly. And then, yeah, 'cause you might not need it all the time. You might just want to use it for like maybe you record in GarageBand or you record in Studio One, and you want to use all the cool mixing and mastering tools in Logic, and you just get it for a month. Like that's reasonable and feasible too. I'm doing that with ChatGPT at the moment. I've got it for a month to see how it goes. So yes. Free trials for the win. What haven't we covered here? We've looked at the search and select. There's not much more to that. It's pretty straightforward. You just come in here and tap on the 3 dots and go search and select track and type something in there. And then it'll find your tracks, which is kind of rad. Whoops, we've gone out of there. The export we've shown there. What haven't we shown? Normalize volume. We've played around with that. MIDI learn. And your flashback capture. I just got to check my notes here and see what we haven't done. That's the pretty much the kit and caboodle. So yeah, it's not super in depth as far as updates go. That's what it was. I knew there was something we were going to show. Let's have a look at the sound pack, shall we? Let's create a new project. Should we go into live loops? I very rarely use the live loops grid here in Logic Pro. Yeah, no, I'm already daunted. I'm already lost. I'm not doing that. Not live, not after not using it for over a year. I'm going to get so lost. But let's go into our sound library here and let's you and I download this new pack. It is the camera. It's my continuity camera. I'm using my iPhone for it. And it keeps popping up. It keeps sort of disconnecting and re-popping up. G'day, Cold Acre. Happy Friday to you, mate. Let's hit the preview button on this and see what it sounds like. All right. So yes, drum and bass is where it's at. Let's get it. What does it have? It has more than 400 Apple loops. It has over 40 Alchemy synth sounds, 10 drum machine designer kits, more than 200 samples, and 1 live loops grid. And you might notice, for those of you playing along at home, if you're a GarageBand user, you may notice that you actually get less stuff in GarageBand. So if we go into the sound library here in GarageBand and we go to Dance Floor Rush, you only get the loops, 3 drum kits, and the live loops grid. So if you compare that to Logic Pro, you get the 10 drum machine designer kits, and then you get the samples, because the samples are part of the loops, but GarageBand doesn't support samples. So that's why you don't get it there. GarageBand doesn't support your drum designer kits. The Alchemy synth sounds, this is a bit of a weird and disturbing trend, that GarageBand is not getting the Alchemy synth sounds anymore. The same thing happened in the last pack, and I can't think of a good reason why, except the conspiratorial one, which is they only want the coolest stuff to go into Logic Pro, and they want to leave the GarageBand folks with not as much. So you can speculate if you want to as well. Oh, by the way, I know because someone will comment on it immediately. Yes, we had the same problem last time. We have the same problem this time. Even if you've downloaded each and every sound, and to do that, we can come in here to manage packs, and check, it will still say, it'll still have the little red thing. We can get all here. Yep, continue. And make sure that all available packs are there. It's going to download that one. That one's just the open ones. They're the extra ones. So yes, it is still doing that. For some reason, I shouldn't laugh. I shouldn't laugh, but some people get cartoon level angry about this because they like things to be. They like things to be a certain way, and they don't like seeing that red dot when there's nothing to red dot. So let's actually just close out of everything here and open back up and see. Yeah, we still got the red dot. Last time they fixed it within the first week. And yes, you could make the argument as why can't they fix it beforehand? The problem is that going from a beta version into a full release version is different. You don't quite know how things will react, especially how they integrate with the App Store once you actually put them out there into the world. So yeah, if you're really triggered by that, I'm sorry, I don't know. Yeah, it is definitely, they're starting to limit things there. And Coldacre has been using Logic Pro on Mac for decades. That's how old he is. So yes, someone that you can listen to with their feedback about that. Yeah, and that's the same thing. Interestingly, they even mentioned that when I spoke to Apple, and no, I don't have Apple on speed dial. I speak to them once about every 6 months when something big like this happens. They said, "Oh yeah, and we've got Logic Pro for Mac has caught up with the others." I'm like, it's a bit weird that Logic Pro for iPad got the last pack, but Logic Pro for Mac didn't. It's bizarre. Plus, there's a thing at the moment where a lot of people can't seem to access the GarageBand pack in some parts of the world. So if that's you, sit tight. I'm sure Apple will fix it as soon as they can. Hello, Ed Z, by the way. Thank you for being here. If you haven't already hit the thumbs up button because the sun's up, go ahead and hit that button now because it does. It helps. It tells the robots to tell the other robots to come and watch the show. What were we doing here? We were starting a new project, weren't we? We were checking out this new sound pack. So let's just create an audio track here. Let us start with some loops. So we can come in here, we can go to our loops. And the way to find the new ones is to use the filter button here. I find this really hard to see. Like, we need to go to the sound packs and we need to find it. What was it called? Dance floor something. Was it Dance Floor Rush? There it is. So we tap Dance Floor Rush, and now we've got all of these sounds. So this is pretty cool. A lot of these seem to be MIDI loops. Oh yeah, there's a mixture. So I do like it when you have MIDI loops, especially for your drum sounds and your bass sounds. It means that it's basically taking the sample and creating a loop out of that. It just gives you a lot more freedom and flexibility with being able to edit and with being able to change things up. So let's pick one at random. What about the positive balance beat? No, that one's not got enough green bits. One with more green bits. Pushing higher. Yeah, let's push higher, shall we? Pushing higher chords. So what are these going to be like? Let's preview them. A bit confused by the Flashback Capture being a new feature. There was capture recording feature there previously, was almost the same. Was that on the iPad though, Ed? I mean, you'd probably know better than me, but I'd never seen it or never used it or didn't know it existed. I think Logic for Mac had it before or had something like that, did they? Yeah, it's a good point. Clearly, it got past me and many others because I thought it was new. All right, so this is cool. This has actually got some chords in here, so this will be cool to like test this out. Let's bring the bass in here. Let's create a loop here for those 8 bars. Well, that's pretty cool. We need some drum sounds. Oh, we got a lead sound here. That's cool. Let's use the alchemy sound for another track here. Well, this won't be a full review. I'll be doing that at some stage soon. But if we come in here and we go to our alchemy synth, mhm. We need synthesizer, alchemy, and create. All right. All right, so we should be able to now change this patch. So if we go to, I've got to remember how to use my alchemy default preset. There we go. How do we filter our alchemy ones? Browse patches like that. Okay, alchemy and sound packs. Dance floor rush. Boom. Okay, I remembered something. Hooray! Hail. I was going to say hail Satan, but I wouldn't say that. All right, let's preview a few of these sounds. Oh, we got a heap. Oh, we got. Oh, they're the partial matches. I was like, why do we have so many matches? No, they're not the matches. These are the matches. These are the 40 up the top here, and then it goes to the partial matches. What have we got? Vocal grit bass. Oh, jeebus! That's kind of cool. Let's select that one. When you play a sound like this, you can't help but go with your mouth. Is this going to work with this this track though? Sorry, I was having too much fun. I forgot. Here's an interesting point. Double tap. What does Flashback Capture do if you've played a bunch of different ones in there? So it just captures the first? Is that the first thing that I played? I think it's captured everything. I think it captured every take I did. Let's just verify that, because I haven't actually worked this out yet. All right. Yeah, it's just captured both. Sort of captured both, hasn't it? Welcome to the Talk Box, the only box that talks 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's true. Let's go back to the sound, because we probably don't want to use that one. What about the big wide wreath? Okay. Let's go delicate touch plucks. You got to say that really carefully. I reckon that might sound better with that. All right. There we go. All right, is that cool? All right, we need some drums. So let's go into, let's add a drum kit to this track. Plus button. Should we do it? How should we add the drums? Do it this way. We'll do it in the drum kit design stereo. Correct. Because we should be able to, again, search out the presets. How do we filter them? I've forgotten. Browse patches. There you go. Remembered it again. Remembered it again. And sound packs. Do we not have any in here? Oh, I think I've gone in the wrong way. Because these are actually the drum kits, aren't they? Yeah, I've clearly forgotten how to use drums in Logic Pro. It's been that long. This is the problem. I make Jade Star do my drums, so I'm gonna have to relearn my way around the drum kit designer because I thought we could add the kit in here. Oh, hang on, maybe we could do it. Maybe we do it via the instrument patches here. No. Oh yeah, there you go. Dance floor rush. Okay. That's better. So, no, I can't remember how to do it. Cannot remember how to use the drums. So we'll just add some loops. Actually, you can use these samples and put them in directly if you wanted to. It was already selected. Yeah, it was, because I already had it selected from before, Thomas. It's almost like I've gone completely insane from spending so much time here in Logic Pro. Let's just use some drum loops, shall we? We've already got the loops going on here. Let's just find we'll find something from a different pack just to see if it'll work together, because drums can be okay for that sort of thing. What about? Yeah, I like that one. Okay. And loop it. Tick. Put a nice topper on here. Put the topper on. Come on. Oi. Oh, I'm going to use my finger. Anyone with Magic Keyboard, do you find that sometimes when you try to select something, it just won't select properly? Pain in the butt. We need a kick snare, don't we? Let's find something else that's got a kick and a snare. We've got a whole beat, do we? All right, what about this one? Yeah, that's a loop de loop. Let's loop de loops. Go with a sum up beat. Throw it on here. And loop that one out. All right, what have we created? Got a feeling down in my soul. I got a feeling I'm gonna be alright. I got a feeling down in my fingers. It's gonna go all the way to my toes. Oh no, I re-recorded that first bit. Go away, first bit. Unloop. Oh, I hate takes. I never use them. We need take one. There we go. Let's see what this sounds like. Got a feeling down in my fingers. Got a feeling down in my soul. I got a feeling I'm gonna be alright. I got a feeling down in my fingers. It's gonna go all the way to my toes. I got a feeling down in my soul. I got a feeling I'm gonna be alright. I got a feeling down in my fingers. It's gonna go all the way to my toes. I got a feeling down in my soul. I got a feeling I'm gonna be alright. Toes. I got a feeling I'm gonna be alright. I got a feeling down in my fingers. It's gonna go all the way to my toes. As usual, these live streams end with just craziness. Helium one. Yeah, what was the helium one? I liked that one too. This is the thing. Just finding different things to have fun with music is highly underrated. Sometimes we take ourselves way too seriously, and
I got a feeling down in my soul. I got a feeling I'm gonna be alright. I got a feeling down in my fingers. It's gonna go all the way to my toes. I got a feeling
yeah, good times, good times. So let's summarize, shall we? We're at evolutionary point, folks. So Logic Pro 2, Logic Pro for iPad 2, and 11 were revolutionary because they added in things like your session players, your AI drummer and bass player and keys player, and some of the cool plugins that we had there, the Chroma Glow and all that really cool one. What was that called that no one uses anymore? Yeah, that one. Sorry, guys. So yeah, this one, it's quality of life, isn't it? It's being able to have your MIDI learn. It's being able to use that flashback capture, which apparently we found out was a feature before, but it's a feature in here. And it's just those that like the normalized gain, having your export up here is just adding things to it. Now, the criticism will be someone's already in the comments right now, and what they've said is this is not a pro piece of software. Apple should be ashamed of themselves for calling it Logic Pro. This is just GarageBand Plus. You cannot use your audio unit plugins. You cannot use your giant contact sample libraries. You cannot create music using this. Well, you're right, and you're also wrong. So you're right in the fact that if you are trying to replace Logic Pro on a Mac with Logic Pro on an iPad, you are barking up the wrong device. So yeah, I get you. If you've got a bunch of high-end gear, got a bunch of proprietary third-party audio unit plugins, you got a bunch of samples, you got terabytes and terabytes of samples and loops and libraries, yeah, this isn't going to be for you. But if you have cut your teeth on GarageBand, you've made your way up through the ranks, and you're ready for something that's going to give you more options and a more professional sound in the end, because you can do a lot more with plugins and effects and mixing, and you can actually use, I don't know, a fader on your master volume. You can make sure that it doesn't auto normalize. So yes, there are distinct advantages with Logic Pro for iPad over GarageBand. There's distinct disadvantages in Logic Pro for iPad compared to Logic Pro for Mac. And there's a reason why whenever they show the full round trip compatibility, it always goes from like voice recorder to GarageBand to Logic Pro iPad to Logic Pro Mac. Very rarely does it end back on a phone. And that's not to say that you can't do stuff on a phone. I've seen and heard people that have created amazing songs. Look at Gary Hubbs. Gary Hubbs made his first like 20 tracks on like an iPhone 6 or something like that. It's going to get better. By the end of it, it'll be a first generation iPhone, and he just used the built-in mic. That'll be where it goes to eventually for Gary's story. But he's proven that you can actually do great music on anything you use. And just having the additional flexibility, though, of being able to do things like plug in your MIDI controllers is a cool thing. And these additional features will actually just make Logic Pro even better for creators out there. But your mileage may vary. And the beautiful part is that we have choices. It's a bit like whenever we get into the Mac versus PC or Windows versus Mac OS or iOS versus Android debates. The answer is yes. The answer isn't which one is better. The answer is which one is better for you right now. And that can be different to me, and that can also change over time. So I think folks get a little too hung up on worrying about what other people are doing and using. I was listening to Jade's interview with Scotty Butters today, and it was really good. It was really motivational because Scotty was working with professional musicians. You know what professional musicians, professional creators, professional producers, professional engineers do? They simplify things, they provide you with value, they build you up instead of tear you down, and they make sure that you are able to create your best music. And that's kind of the motivation that I've taken over the years and why I started this channel and why I say, create, record, release. Because the more you create and record and release, the better you're going to get. And the reason I wanted this community to be what it is that I want folks to feel like they're safe and that they're being built up. And that's the thing. Anytime you hear someone mention how professional they are, how many years experience they have at recording or engineering, why their way is best, why everyone else's way is worst, guess what? Actual professionals simply don't have the time, energy, or motivation for any of that stuff. They just want to get on with it, make great music, and hang out with cool people. And that's what it's all about here. So before you nitpick, before you give me the list of 100 reasons why Logic Pro sucks, why not just work out what you want to use and go create music? Wouldn't that just be a better use of your time and everyone else's time? So now that I've lectured people who probably aren't even here because they clocked out at the 4-minute mark and left their comment, and now they're off trolling some other message board, I think we're pretty much done. All right. Okay. There's a major bug. Sidechain is no longer working. Oh dear. Yeah, and look, this will happen too. And that's what you do. You test it and you send a bug report. And it's always going to be the case. And what do we say? Where do we say? If you were working on a big project and Logic Pro 2.2 came out, should you update right now? No. No, you shouldn't. So, yes, there is always going to be unintended consequences of any new changes, any new features. There's always going to be new bugs. You saw and heard a bug before. I had to close and reopen because I was playing my MIDI and it was not coming through. I was hitting the keys and it was, instead of playing the notes, it was going, it cut it out. And that could be anything. That could be a new bug. That could be my audio setup. That could be that I just did a stem split and then added a thing. So as much as they can do beta testing and as much as folks like me and Patrick and others have used it in that, there's going to be different things. Patrick and I aren't sidechaining kind of people. We're probably not creating tracks that are going to use a heap of sidechaining. So other people will. And as they do that, it'll get better. So... unless, yeah, I don't think they would remove it on purpose. Unless, I don't know. I haven't tried. Yeah, actually, no. The GarageBand isn't an update. That's only the sound pack. I'm like, GarageBand's the one that has the weird, a few weird bugs at the moment, which hopefully will get patched and fixed in future updates. Because remember that we've got WWDC just around the corner. We'll have new iOS and iPad OS in September usually. There's no guarantee on this stuff, but that's usually when it happens because that's when the new iPhones come out, and it's usually designed to align with the new iPhones as well. That's going to do it for this one. I hope you enjoyed this, learnt something, got to laugh at me when things went wrong a few times. Always the case. Don't let it worry you. Have some fun with your music because it's you gotta just.
I got a feeling down in my soul. I got a feeling I'm gonna be alright.
There you go. I do have a feeling down in my soul. I got a feeling it's going to be all right. Everything will be fine. Everything will be version 26. Yes. Now, what? So is that? I read something about that. Should we? I didn't understand it, but is it actually doing that? iOS jumping to iOS 26. Is that the rumor, or is that iOS? So are they just going years from now on? Because I guess that makes sense. I've just checked iOS 26 beta. Apple will probably release it. Just when you're used to something. This is what we as old people do. We're just like, back in my day, you just got a new number every year. Look, does it make sense? Yeah, because having 19 in 26 and then 20 in 27 and then 21 in 28, it basically, they're going with a yearly review cycle anyway, so why not do that? And yes, it is. It definitely would be less confusing. But I don't know. It also puts you at a date and time, and I don't know. They've obviously thought about it and thought that it makes more sense. So there you go. Okay, iOS 26 will be coming out, not iOS 19. All right. I'm going to finish off before I get any more earth-shattering news. Folks, please be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others. Keep creating. Check out all my other Logic Pro videos. They're down in the description of this one. And nothing goes wrong in those because I get to edit them. And I'll see you for the happy hour on the weekend. Don't forget, we've got a big Saturday night or Sunday morning of live music here. You got your Thomas Christ, you got your Jade Star, and you got me all playing for an hour. It's a good old time. We've got Your Music Live coming up again Sunday night or Monday morning, depending where you are in the world, and get your songs in because we've actually got a few spaces again. I don't know what it is. I think people are transitioning from winter into summertime. And yeah, there's a few less tracks being created and shared. So we're always looking for more great songs and great artists on Your Music Live, folks. Yeah, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, keep creating. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.